Yeah. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Ooh, yes, here we go. We hopped up on that bus. Bird, chill, hide, Roger and Law, we crushing friendly Gus. Bulldog vision, all these boys see is red. What a crappy life, R.I.P. Ed. Heights GMC, you're collecting all the dust. We want the smoke, so come fire it up with us. That boy MT, yeah, he always causing problems.
Yeah, you know what time it is. It's your favorite day of the week. Welcome to another episode of the Big Ugly Sports Show. We are brought to you by Premier Properties of Dublin. We're your first and your only source for below average sports coverage. Glad you could join us today. As you can see, or you can't hear, but you can see, we got another skeleton crew this morning. We'll get to that in just a minute. But let's meet the one guy that did show up and show out for us this morning.
New music.
I said it right the first time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy looks like chewed up bubble gum with his shirt off. Nobody dries out a brisket like him. Best known for bragging about his humility. He's got a melanin deficiency and his eyes barely open. Loves to breathe in the mic. I'm talking about Matt Opie Hightower. Man, that melon, I couldn't pronounce it right.
That's a tough word.
It would have landed too.
That's a tough word.
It would have landed. So
it still hurt.
What are your thoughts on the new intro right here?
I think we need to explain that.
Well, I'm talking about the music first off.
I mean, it's okay.
Okay. That's what you think we need to explain?
I don't feel stirred inside by this music, but it could be worse.
Well, we keep getting, and I don't really know what it looks like, but we keep getting, when I look at our content on YouTube, it'll say copyright every now and then, and it just stays there. So I'm assuming that means we're playing music that is copyrighted, and I'm not sure with the YouTube algorithm if that hurts our ability to spread the BUS brand.
Let me tell you what that really means. They know about us and they're scared of us. That's what it means. They are paying attention and they're threatened by us.
Well, and they should be, rightfully so. So the new music, which you didn't get to hear everybody else's that I had worked out, but the new music is royalty-free music. So we're clear. It's not going to be quite as good. We're not going to have the Georgia fight song. We're not going to have different things like that. But it is what it is. You know, you got to adjust. We're a year and a half in, and some call us famous. So, like,
semi-famous for sure.
Semi-famous. So, but as you can see, nobody's here with us this morning. A lot of no-shows. We'll get to that, but make sure wherever you're listening, we picked up a few subscribers on YouTube this past week, so we're up close to 250 on there, which is good for us. So make sure if you're listening, you are subscribed. Do us a favor, subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're catching it. And if you can't figure out how to find the show, you can always go to www.thebiguglysportshow.com, and we'll have the latest episodes posted there. So, Opie, you know, here we are. It's 32 degrees this morning out at the Bridges Ranch.
At best, yeah.
Actually, I think it's 30 because I remember it was 33 when I left my house. 30. And so everything's colder out here at the ranch. You know, it's just ranch life.
It's in a holler.
It's in a holler. So it's colder. We come in here. You know, Jay's got, first off, Jay was supposed to be on the show, and he's not here. And this is the second week, we actually bought a mic pack like these, which are not cheap, with the headphones and everything, because we needed an extra one for Jay. Mm-hmm. And once again, he talks about it all week. He's fired up about it.
No show.
In his front yard, guys.
Yeah.
Front yard.
How many times did you ask him, do we need to return this mic, or are you going to be on the show? No, man, I got it. I'll be there.
And he's sending us intro songs and just all this nonsense. And people at home, I wish I could zoom in on me right now. We are in his front yard. Let's just call it 40. He's got a big front yard. What's 40 yards from his house? It's probably a little more than that, but we'll call it 40.
Yeah. I mean, I probably can't throw a football from here to there.
But
he's catching heat from these heaters right now. That's how close he is.
So Jay buys, he's got these, Jay's got everything out here that you could ever imagine and want, but he's got these big stand-up heaters we've used for the past few weeks, which has given us a nice ambiance in here.
I like it.
But since then, he added some light, so it's much brighter here. So he said, and he bought a heater, like a room heater. So he took the stand-up propane heaters out and just supplied us with the small heater, because he said it'll warm up I don't know, 3,000 square foot. And obviously we're much smaller than that in here. Well, me and Opie get here this morning and fire it up. And
Here's the key to a good heater operation. Turning it on. Yeah. Plug it in, turn it on. That helps a lot.
well, in the text early this morning, that was my hope, that when we got here, it was going to be nice and warm. And instead, when I turn in, it's pitch black in here. And we crank that heater on. And we're in a grain bin with a high ceiling. So
It's only been a few seconds since I could quit seeing my breath.
it was rough.
It was like Lambeau Field in here.
It was with that and the people not being here. So that's why Jay's not here. Adam texted us last night, and he's got sick children, which
Hey, that's his life. Every day there's a kid sick.
so
Hey guys, I don't know if I'm gonna make it this morning. Insert name here has been thrown up all right. That's every Monday night we get that text.
and he will set his absence up, by throwing that out.
And he does it after everybody else goes to bed, so there's no kickback.
And then Law's been down in his back all week. I saw Law yesterday at work, and it was tough to watch. I mean, it's tough to watch him move, and I can't really tell if he's selling because he don't want to do something, so he's really selling
Well,
it,
he
or if he's
swore he was
really
going
hurt.
to be here this morning. He was going to power through it. I tell you what, I'm realizing we've got a show full of liars.
And I told you off air, Adam's been giving me a hard time, because Rogers is obviously not with us right now, and he was hit or miss for attendance for a while. So then that one time it was me and Adam, and the ratings were exceptionally low. So I said we've got to add somebody. No, man, we just need to keep. So we end up adding Mitch, and then it still got to where I felt like if one person misses, you're still too small. So I said, let's add, and we reached out to Opie. No, man, we don't need to add anybody. And here we are. If you wouldn't have been at it, it'd be me right here, just a single man talk show.
Somebody's going to take some of his airtime.
They gonna get his credit.
Yeah, he's scared to death. He's going to lose 2 or 3 words that he lives for, and it's going to hurt him. And man, this is too much talking for me. I'm a comment guy. I'm a color guy.
Not today.
That is not good for business. Not good for business.
Well, so if this is your first time joining us, we normally have more people, so tune in with us. But you know what? We're going to make a good show today.
Don't give up on us.
I got a good feeling Opie and I are going to make a good show. But my family's, I'm staying home with my daughter today, actually. She's sick, so it was a rough night last night.
So you can still come if
still
your kid's
here.
sick? That's tough.
Yeah, but I don't have 4.
That's true.
That probably changes things. I don't have 4.
Well, they're all asleep right now.
Except for the ones that are sick.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we are still actively looking for sponsors. We've got a good sponsor list.
And maybe show members. If we can get up to 12, maybe we can get 3 at one time.
That was the only downfall about having so many. Like you said, now it's easier for somebody. I'll just admit that everybody else will be there.
It's hard to call in an alternate at 4:30.
Yeah, it's very true. So we are actively looking for sponsors. We will, at the beginning of the year with our first episode, we'll roll out our new sponsors and give you all that list. But if you're interested in that, reach out to us via social media, or you can email us at biguglysports@gmail.com, and we'll tell you the price and kind of what that includes. Real quick also, we announced it last week. We talked about it, but it's the week of now, and Wednesday, Coffee County's playing in the state championship at the Benz, and Cam Bigelow, one of the original BUS members that chose to move to Coffee County, which ended up being a really good move for him. And they are playing in the football state championship. So, Cam, we appreciate all you do for the BUS. He still tunes in every week. I threw that out last week and wasn't going to say anything to him. And like clockwork, that afternoon, he texted me and Adam and said, appreciate the shout out. So, appreciate Cam, and good luck to the Coffee County
Only
Trojans.
one member so far has had to leave town.
That's it. We've only ran one off. And I shared on social media our BUS Bowl Mania.
Yeah.
Crickets. Not one member.
It's hard to choose some of these bowl games. Once you go with the spread, it's hard to choose.
Yeah, but
one person.
Nobody's accepted the invitation. It's free to just get in. It's free to fill out the bracket.
But you did say $10.
Yeah, if you want to compete. But I'd at least rather somebody got in there and just filled out a bracket.
I think you need to be more clear about that. I was confused. I thought I might have to pay $10. I didn't know.
You are.
Really?
It's $10 to play. Yes.
I'm the talent.
No. It might be go down to $9 after today.
Yeah, let's put that thing on sale.
But look, go on our Facebook, our Instagram. You can find the link to the BUS Bowl Mania. Join in with us. We're just doing $10, easy $10 per bracket, and we're going to give first place all the winnings. So
Maybe we should offer $10 to anybody who will join.
As of now, $40 the first place. So, well, $39 if you give us your dime.
If you can get them.
So, so make sure you tune in to all that. Now, what about Frank Wycheck passing over the weekend? Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Titans.
Yeah,
and
he's young.
52. Had he not been part of the Music City Miracle, do you think people know his name? Like, I vaguely remember him playing.
I think if you are my age or your age and remember him playing, then maybe the name rings a bell, but I would say most people still probably don't know his name, or unless they remember it from that one play.
But to me, he's synonymous with Titans now, Titan football.
Absolutely.
Off of that one play. Big play.
Did you see the attempted play or the play that was successful except for the offsides?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
You got to call it. How are you going to tell a referee, hey, I need you to call this if it happens, but not in a very difficult situation or at the end of the game. Inside a minute and a half, don't call that.
And he's clearly offsides.
He's clearly offsides.
And you learn, and I didn't go back and watch it, see if he did this, but I about be willing to bet he didn't. You learn as a receiver. I was a stud receiver when I played high school.
Right.
I use the term stud loosely, but you check. Hey, I'm on, I'm off. And they give you a nod.
Every single play, you're either on or you're off.
Show the signs again.
On.
Okay.
Off. Yeah.
Good wide receiver bod over here.
Yeah. Ooh, turtle routes. You remember that?
So it
best hands on the team, though.
So that play will now just kind of be tossed around and talked about, but not like it could have been.
It would have been the play of the decade, is what I heard this morning. But now it's just an offsides penalty.
Was it an impromptu play from Kelsey? Did they ever talk about? Have they said that was planned?
They didn't say either way.
There's no way that was planned.
They made it seem like it was a complete just instinct play.
What an instinct! Hey, I'm just going to take it while I'm about to get tackled, and I'm just going to hurl it across. I see you.
See, I say even more than instinct. What a roll of the dice! I mean, imagine if that goes poorly. It's still the play of the decade, and Taylor Swift's boyfriend has lost his mind. And
are you over that yet? Are you over the whole Taylor Swift on every play that Kelsey makes? We're getting a shot of her in the stands.
I don't watch a lot of Kansas City football, so it doesn't affect me a whole lot.
Well, they're on TV a lot.
They don't cut to Taylor Swift a lot during the Falcons' losses. Honestly, I wish they would. It's tough to watch sometimes.
That whole division, man.
It's bad.
It's bad football.
It's almost as bad as the attendance at this show. So I was thinking about it this morning because I'm a big Falcons fan. I know everybody that watches the show probably just wants to hear about Georgia football and Braves baseball, but sometimes we have to talk Falcons, and especially after Georgia is out of the playoffs. So we got a few weeks ahead of us of talking Falcons, and that's not a good. It's not a great subject matter.
Jay will be the one to text us. The guy that's not here. Too much Falcons. I'm quit listening.
Well, here's the thing: they're bad, and they could be so good. They've got a top 10 defense for the first time since like '98. I mean, they are awful on defense every year, and we've got a great running game. We've got a really good defense, and we've got
decent weapons.
A young, bad quarterback.
Bad.
I think a bad coach, and just find.
So are the Falcons a quarterback away from being? You think like?
I would say, yeah. I mean, if they're you look at what Joe Flacco's doing with the Browns right now. I mean,
Flacco just beat the Jaguars too. My buddy Gabe was upset about that.
Because to me, he was always the anti-Matt Ryan. They would always like Flacco's elite. Well, no, he's not better than Matt Ryan. So I've always been an anti-Flacco guy, but he's doing good things over there. We got a guy named DeVito for the Giants who
Danny
is like off the streets. His agent looks like if you said, "Hey, dress up as a gangster for Halloween." That's what he dressed up as. But he's doing big things, and there's people. You got Brock Purdy is the last pick in the draft, being successful for the 49ers because Kyle Shanahan's a great coach, and then we are just making some of the most bonehead decisions I've ever seen every single week. And do you see? I mean, they had 4 offensive linemen go down with injury this past Sunday. So I do give them a little bit of a pass on that. But at this point, I just hope they lose every game. And we're not get a draft quarterback. No, they're
going to finish about second or third division.
Well, no, I think we'll be about 8 and 9 and win the division and go to the playoff. And so if you go to the playoffs, you get bumped up even beyond your record in the draft order. So it'll just be like,
so you could bump higher than somebody with a better record than you.
Yeah, 15 or 16, just out of reach for a good quarterback. So we'll end up with like I don't know, somebody at quarterback that's not good. I had a name, but I lost it.
True or false? If Matt Ryan came out there today, the Falcons are better.
True. No doubt about it.
Without playing, just fresh out the house.
If Matt Ryan came out yet tomorrow and threw left-handed, he may be better, just as a decision maker. But I mean, really, and I don't even blame Desmond Ridder that much. I mean, he's not a first-round pick. He's not supposed to be that guy. He's supposed to be a solid backup. He is Marcus Mariota all over again.
Just not as good, probably.
I mean, he's probably a little better than Mariota.
You think
Mariota's
so?
Bad.
But Mariota was older, however you say his name.
Yeah.
Either way, neither one of them very
good. He is older. That is, yeah. If that counts for something. Yeah.
No, he was when he was playing for the Falcons. Is what I was saying. If we're comparing that,
yeah.
Don't be an idiot.
He seems.
Hey, don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot.
Golly.
Don't you miss that this morning? Insults flying at you.
No idiots in here.
That was part I added to his intro. I mean, I had some decent intros ready today.
Save it.
I had Mitch's good intro music that people would love. I thought fresh off of royalty free music is hard to find. Royalty free music is not hard to find. Like good royalty free music is hard to find.
If it was good, there'd be royalties.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
we can always play the happy birthday song or something.
Yeah, or something. All right. It's the commercial break quickly got on us this morning. So hey, time flies when you're talking a little bit. Heating up. So at this time, we're going to take a commercial break. We've got a lot to talk about on the other side. Make sure you stay with us. We will be right back. And we're back. That was not the commercial. We're going to try that one more time. And there it is. Residential real estate needs. Give Premier Properties of Dublin a call at 478-274-1606. Their customer service is unmatched, and they'll give you the deal that you want. Again, that's Premier Properties of Dublin at 478-274-1606. Title sponsor of the Big Ugly Sports Show.
This is Brad Meeks, owner of Brian's Giant Subs. Thanks for listening to the Big Ugly Sports Podcast. Come see us today to grab your favorite sub, 1632 Veterans Boulevard in the Oaks Shopping Center, Dublin, Georgia.
J2 Streaming Services. With over 9,000 live channels and packages starting at $15 per month, you literally can't beat it. Visit them on the web at www.j2streaming.com. Proud sponsor of the Big Ugly Sports Show.
Bank of Dudley is proud to sponsor the Big Ugly Sports Show. Wherever you're listening to your favorite sports show, you can also be banking with your favorite bank. Bank of Dudley offers mobile and online banking platforms to make managing your money easy. Get on that Bank of Dudley bus. Bank of Dudley since 1905. Member FDIC.
Elite Comfort Solutions. Based out of Lyons, Georgia, they specialize in commercial and residential HVAC. Call them today at 833-483-HVAC or visit them at www.elitecomfortsolutions-inc.com for a quote. Elite Comfort Solutions is a proud sponsor of the Big Ugly Sports Show. Is your house dumb dirty? Caked up mud all up in the driveway? Too much to clean and too little time? Give Sweet Onion City Exterior Wash a call at 912-326-1615 for a free quote today. Sweet Onion City Exterior Wash is a proud sponsor of the Big Ugly Sports Show. Are you riding around the 478 or the 912 with a vehicle that is as ugly, dirty, and smelly as height? If so, head on over to Big Peach Car Wash located across from Walmart on Highway 80 in Dublin, Georgia.
Getting ready for a weekend with friends? Be sure to visit Blackshear Beverage with two locations, one at Georgia 300 and the other at Highway 280 in Cordele, Georgia. Blackshear Beverage, proud sponsor of the Big Ugly Sports Show. Welcome back to the Big Ugly Sports Show, brought to you by Premier Properties. Just me and Opie on set right here. The other scallywags no-showed per usual, but hey, you learn a lot about people through stuff like this, through difficult times and, you know, sacrifice for the betterment of the brand.
Or lack thereof.
Lack thereof. So they sleeping hard right now too.
I bet so good.
But before we go on, I've got something me and Opie were talking about off air that I told him we're going to talk about on air. But before that, let's see who our Brian Subs winner for this week is. We're going to put the names into a random drawing right here, and this week's winner is. Oh, hold on. Nia Smith. Miss Nia Smith is the winner of this week's Brian Sub. So be sure, Nia, to go buy Brian Subs. Tell Brad and the gang thank you and enjoy a free half sub courtesy of them. We appreciate their ongoing sponsorship and doing that every week. So
hey, way to read the instruction booklet on this thing, man.
Drum roll, air horn. The air horn comes with it. I had to find the drum roll. I had to download.
Is that a royalty-free drum roll, or maybe that's what's getting us?
That could. Well, that's the first time I've used it. Is a drum roll? Do they have royalties on a drum roll?
I mean, I don't think so.
I pulled that off YouTube. So
maybe
that's
it's an NFT. What, I don't really know what that is.
This dude just made something up. But off air, we were talking about, you know, how it was tough to get up this morning because it was cold and early. And Opie goes to tell me that this show is affecting. And as you can look at him, tell he goes to the gym regularly, and he normally announces to us in a group text on the days he's at the gym, just so we'll know. But tell us how the show is impacting you negatively about the gym.
Let me just start. Fitness is my passion. But so normally I go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 or 3 times a week. But
dude said Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then took one Monday, Wednesday, Friday 2 to 3 times.
I'm easily persuaded not to go. So it can be tough on a hardworking guy like myself. And so I've gotten pretty good at getting up at about 5 o'clock and going to the gym, as long as there's nothing like slightly inconvenient in my way. But
what is something that could be slightly inconvenient that could deter you?
Like if I stay up a little past like 9:15, 9:30, if I don't get as good a night's sleep as I wanted to, if I have something big coming up. Lately, it's been getting up at 4 o'clock on Tuesday to come do the show. So
throws the whole week.
If I get up at 5 on Monday, and then I get to recover on Tuesday by sleeping till about 6. But this is like an extra early morning for me. So then it just stacks on top of the Monday morning, which I also didn't go yesterday.
So you're well rested.
Well, I stayed up and watched a movie Sunday night. That got me. Then I got up this morning. That's probably going to get me tomorrow.
So Friday, here we come.
I'm battling. Fridays are normally pretty tough because that's you don't want to be sleepy that night. It's hard to start on a Friday. So it's kind of a momentum thing.
What I'm hearing is we're back in next Monday.
So so ready for Monday.
On those days, for instance, you stay up late Sunday night and watch it. Do you make the decision you're not going before you go to sleep, or is it alarm going off and then?
Well, it could be either way. This Sunday night, I turned my alarm off. It was like 11 o'clock almost by the time. You got to do the math before you go to sleep. And
what's your goal? 6?
No, I mean I need about 7 plus.
Okay,
I'm an 8-hour sleep guy. Listen, when fitness is as important as it is to me, you got to make sure your body's well rested. And I can't do it halfway. If I
can look at you, you look like a well rested body. So
yeah, I got about 7 hours last night.
That's nice. Yeah. I'm a 6. I go for 6, and but I've also, on days that I've wanted to go to the gym, which I hadn't been in roughly 2 years. But for about the last year and a half, I've set my alarm to go every morning. So.
Well, you don't want to start on a midweek.
And then, so if I miss Monday, which I have again for the last year and a half, so much so that I cancel my membership, but I tell myself that when I go back, I'm joining back.
Start it right back.
And I'm going to go with the cheaper package at Planet Fitness over here.
Is there a package where you could have a membership but not go?
Yeah, I had that for a while too.
Need.
Yeah, I had the $25 package. You pay it, you just don't go.
But what if I pay $10 but I promise to never come?
Quit sending me offers and emails.
Yeah.
So good. Hopefully you'll be back on the gym routine tomorrow. But a lot happened since our last episode. We have a Heisman, and I wish Law was here to boast a little bit about how he called it, and haven't gone back to listen.
I called it.
Yep.
That was pretty good, wasn't it?
Here we got Jay coming in right now.
Is he going to run down here?
Man, crap. I had all intentions of coming, set dang alarm on PM instead of AM. What?
Classic slip up. It could happen to anybody.
What an idiot. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
Because he's not just waking up at 6 o'clock with no alarm.
No.
So this guy here. But Jaden Daniels winning the Heisman. Is that the right move?
Yeah, I don't think that surprises anybody. He had the best season. He wasn't on the best team, but he had a great season. Law called it a long time ago. I also called it recently. You don't want to acknowledge that, but I did.
It's not as good, though, if it was recent. I mean, obviously.
It was like a month ago.
Yeah, when he was playing really well. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say 1,001 odds called it. I said I called it. I said I named the 4 finalists. You said there'll be 5 finalists. I said, no, there'll be 4 finalists. I named the 4 finalists.
I just thought it was 5 every year. I thought that was the number they went with.
Well, that's why you're the moderator and I'm the subject matter
But your brother also checked it and said if there's a tie or the ballots are close, they'll be about 5. Can you fact check that?
I mean, yeah, that's
okay.
You can do that. There can be 5.
So there just wasn't a close 5th place.
I was just calling my shot early on.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Is that all you got on?
Yeah. So I don't think anybody's surprised by him being the winner. Had a great season. He came, last year he was projected to be about a 4th-round pick. He came back to LSU, had an awesome year. He's got 2 first-round draft pick wide receivers on his team. That makes a huge difference. You throw a ball up and the guy goes up and gets it or gets open and makes it easy. So, things lined up for him. I don't think he's a great quarterback, so the Falcons will probably end up drafting him in about 10 or 12. And I honestly, I'd be happy with that.
Do you think they draft a quarterback?
100%. I don't see how you don't.
Yeah.
Got to. Which also means they probably won't. They'll probably go guard.
Banged up offensive line. You did say it. All right. Staying with college football, we got the transfer portal still, wide open. You got early signing day coming, which we'll talk about that a little more next week because it'll be coming out next Wednesday is early signing day, which will be the day our next show airs. But some rumblings last night of Dylan Raiola to Nebraska possibly, and Steve Wilfong or who Ed sent to us is 92% accurate on his crystal balls, has crystal balled Raiola to Nebraska. And apparently did not know this, but his uncle was the O-line coach, or coaches O-line over there.
I think his dad played at Nebraska
He did.
also.
And they're offering him now. Again, this is from Big Ugly Sports insider Steven Douchwards, who is about that guy's 92% right. Ed's about 8% right on what information he shares with us. But he shared that they are offering him $2 million a year for $8 million for his career over at Nebraska, and he also says that. And I wish Adam was here to talk about this because he was firing in some text last night about it, but. His brother, Ed's brother, is like a pretty big timer over with Georgia boosters and everything like that. And he said, there's no money. Like, Georgia's NIL is just not there. Like, they keep having events to where they're trying to raise money and they just ain't. So they can't compete with people like that. And then it comes down to, like Ed was saying, you got rumors now bet 50-50 to go to the NFL instead of stay, where he was more staying here. And now that money, I'm sure whatever money's there, now you got to say, well, we got to throw something at him to keep him here, which may take away from what you're throwing at, which is crazy that we're even talking about this in college football. And I saw, and kind of lumping all this into one, I saw where Marvin Harrison Jr. is getting offered upwards of $20 million a year to stay for this. Is that,
that's insane. I could see $1 million, $1.5 million for a quarterback. I thought that was about the going rate, but $20 million for a wide receiver is insane. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe they just have so much money to throw around, but a wide receiver is not going to change your season. He was great. He was probably as good as he's going to be this past year, not in the playoffs.
Was he better the year before? For some reason, I feel like that. I hadn't checked the stats, but I just felt like he was the best receiver a year before, and then this year he was just a really good one.
Well, I think he was the best receiver this year. He just had a mediocre quarterback. Kyle McCord, who also is in the transfer portal, and I've also heard rumored to Nebraska, along with that wide receiver that left Ohio State, both rumored to Nebraska. I'm hoping that is just people trying to get him there. Until you threw out that stat about the crystal ball guy, 92% accurate, I was 100% confident the guy was coming back.
Me too.
He's going to stay at Georgia. But, it comes down to you're not going to win at Nebraska.
No.
Not anytime soon. If you come to Georgia, you're going to compete for national championships all 4 years.
Exposure way higher, which
primetime games. But, $8 million is a substantial amount of money. He may never go to the NFL, but if he's got $8 million in the bank, you can live off that the rest of your life.
But I guess what Georgia's going to sell him on is we can't pay you that, but you can come here and be a first round draft pick based on your skill set. We're going to progress you, and you're going to make a lot more money.
I mean, but if you look at what's more likely to happen, quarterbacks at Georgia don't go in the first round.
That's fair.
But I mean, have we really had? We had Matt Stafford's the last high draft pick we've had go, but that's really the last super talented guy who has started at quarterback for us. Justin Fields never did anything for us. Never got on the field. Gunnar Stockton was I guess Carson Beck was a pretty high guy. He's a 4-star guy. Man, I've read that if he stays and comes back another year, he's expected to be a first round pick next year. Right now, he's like a 4th, 5th round pick.
So what would be an incentive for him then? I mean, a little bit of money now?
I don't think he's going to go. I think he'll be back. I think he's got a chance to compete for a national title.
Do you think this is a spot where he's trying to get a little money from Georgia maybe?
I mean, I think he probably is. I haven't heard anything about him going. And I think, we all think that with Vandergriff leaving, that means he heard that he was going to stay. So I think he's going to stay. It's good for him to stay. If he comes back another year, he, picks up a payday that's several $1 million. Because you're looking at $25 million for a first-round pick.
That's crazy.
That's big-time money. So he'd be crazy to miss out on that opportunity. And to me, if he stays another year and has a year similar to what he had this year, which is likely, then he's making himself millions of dollars. So I think he's going to stay. I think regardless of the NIL package, he's going to stay. But to me, that's a bigger concern than just one draft pick. I think if we don't have the money to compete with people, then slowly but surely we're going to lose recruits. I mean, that's just the reality of it right now.
I was reading where Riley Leonard, Duke's quarterback, he's in the portal. Well, did not know this until I think Ed, Inside Scoop shared it with us, that he's kind of sitting and waiting on what happens at Georgia. Because I think he's slated like Notre Dame now, but they're saying that if Beck leaves and it may just be pending on Beck. It may not have anything to do with Raiola. I'm not sure Leonard's eligibility, how much he's got left, but he may be a grad transfer. Anyhow, so he's kind of waiting to see what happens there and could possibly come in. There's a realistic scenario now where Gunnar Stockton plays versus Florida State in this bowl game,
Man,
which would be crazy.
Not great.
No,
it's not great.
You're talking about Georgia being a 2-touchdown favorite to possibly not being favored.
Yeah,
slight.
I think Gunnar Stockton was he was a good recruit out of high school, was a great prospect, but I've seen him play. He's just very limited right now. He's young, has not had experience.
No reps.
He's just not ready. He's not ready.
But he might be.
You're really bringing me down a lot with a lot of information. I was ignorant and happy with all this, and now you're bringing a lot of facts.
But with Ed, with Ed, and Ed will hopefully listen to this, but you just never know what you're getting from him. But he's kind of like Raji is, like he's throwing out 15 things, but when one hits, that's all he needs. That's all he needs. That gives him further validation that his sources are good, and he's going to keep rattling off information. So, and when we get, as this show progresses to the next election, that's when we'll really get a lot of information from him about the election. A lot of meaningful, valuable information about who's going to win. So,
Dead for Ed was always one of my favorite segments, and we don't do that enough.
That's fair. We'll bring it back next week because we got the intro still in here.
I don't know Ed, but it makes me happy to kill Ed.
Yep. Well, there's a lot of people that would like to. All right, it's time for our second commercial break. On the other side of it, we're going to stay talking money with Shohei Ohtani's big contract and how absurd that is. So stay with us. We'll be right back. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, the final segment here of the Big Ugly Sports Show, once again brought to you by Premier Properties of Dublin. We were talking money with NIL and the transfer portal and things like that, but we cannot not talk about Shohei Ohtani's $700 million over 10 years. How absurd is that?
That is.
I think they got him choked up about it.
Yeah, I would be choked up if somebody offered me that much money. Man, $700 million.
700 too.
I would take it. But I thought that we were talking $500 million as crazy numbers for him, and I thought he would get it, but I never thought $700 million.
Only the Dodgers.
I feel like that kind of thing happens with them all the time. Is that everybody else is like $400 million, no, 405, and then they're like $700 million.
Shut it down.
Just to flex that they have so much money, which I mean that's a classic LA thing to do. Just throw money at it, but I mean that's unbelievable amount of money. But I do think the way they structured the contract, so this 10 years, $700 million, $70 million a year, but they only get $2 million. He only gets $2 million a year for the first 10 years, and then they start paying the back end.
And that was his idea.
So I think that's a great idea, and I think that's gonna start a trend. I think people are gonna do that more often because he's making $50 million a year off of endorsements. He's a huge international star, and so he doesn't necessarily need that much money all at once. He can be fine with what he's getting. And I think he can pay the bills with what he'll get from the endorsements and the $2 million, and then all of that's deferred, and so it punishes the Dodgers after he's gone. But for the 10 years that he's there, they get to be competitive.
Yep. So do you think that was his idea of thinking big team, little me? Like I want to help win, so I'm going to lower my contract? Or
well, yes, but that's not a little me. It's still a me thing. He's selfishly wanting to win. So now he's going to get paid $700 million, and he's going to get to be competitive and win now. So it's really the best of both worlds. It's not like he took a discount and is doing it for peanuts. I'm sure that's why he's getting paid $700 million. They're saying there's no interest deferred, but I think that number is built into the $700 million. That's how you get to that high number is say, okay, the going rate's about $500 million, but I'll do you a favor and take $700 million deferred. So he's being selfish by being unselfish.
191 just based without endorsements, like you said, 191,000 a day for the next 10 years that's insane.
It's good money.
Good money. I saw where he you mentioned Brock Purdy earlier. They said two of Ohtani's games checks this year will be more than what Purdy makes for the season.
Mm-hmm. And
just break me out. Just give me a day, bro.
He can't even pitch next year.
And he's won. I mean, I hope it don't happen. I like him. I like watching him play. I mean, he's a great player, but he's an injury, a major injury away from you feeling like we just wasted that money.
I mean, by the backside of that contract, it'll be a liability, but I mean, still only be getting paid $2 million at that time.
And now, in any given order up there, you've got Mookie, Freddie, Shohei. I mean,
they're dangerous. They still don't have any pitching though, but now they have money to go after it because they just signed him for $2 million.
I'm sure we'll be seeing them in the NLDS, NLCS type, maybe. Hopefully,
I hope so. But here's the thing: look at the contracts the Braves have signed. They got Acuna for $100. They got Albus for what? Albus like $35 million or something like that. I mean, they have signed these guys to dirt cheap contracts, extremely valuable contracts. I mean, I think I saw a list of the top 10 best contracts in baseball, and like 3 of them were on the Braves.
Riley's on there for a long term.
Now he actually got paid some substantial money, but that's
nothing in comparison. Which he's
farther
not
through. So if y'all don't know the way the Major League free agency works, you don't actually become an unrestricted free agency until year 6 of MLB service. So you go into arbitration.
You learned that on MLB 2K when your guy was trying to get traded. And
MLB The Show,
yeah.
So you go through. I used to be a big insider. A lot of blogs and stuff.
I'm sure you did. That don't surprise me.
A lot of time spent just studying up. But so you go. You know what? Let's not get into the inner workings of
this. Is kind of like Adam last week parking his truck.
Let's talk about that off air.
Yeah. Kind of like Adam parking his truck.
I was about to go talk about parking.
Way too deep. But that's just something you feel like AA was never going to invest that much money in.
That's crazy.
I mean, you could get a lot of good players for the amount you're paying him.
All of them. You could get all of them together on one team. So he makes more. He makes more by himself than like a dozen Major League Baseball rosters.
That's insane. Well, hey, best of luck to him. So it's with inflation and things, money's only going up anyways. The value of it's decreasing.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you mention it, $700 million is not even that much anymore. Inflation.
Wouldn't even take it.
I wouldn't take it.
All right, I got before we do our picks real quick, I got a list of would you rather. I'm gonna give you two of my better ones. I feel like that I found didn't come up with. I found them. But
they're mediocre.
Mediocre, but again, I didn't come up with them. I found them. So I want to know: would you rather drink a vial of No Sean Marino tears, based on remember when they were leaking off his face, or listen to Stephen A. rant for 8 hours straight without being able to get away from it?
Give me the tears. Give me the tears. Salty tears. No Sean Moreno. He's a dog.
So he got that dog. He got that blood in his blood.
It's a dog. 8 hours is a long time. He's loud. He does not ramp up. He just goes hard all the time. I take that shot of tears. Yeah.
What you rate it taste like? Just real salty, you think?
Yeah, just salty, wet and salty. Chase it with a lime or something. I think it'd be fine.
I'm probably just going to listen to Stephen A. and hopefully he's talking about some good stuff. Yeah,
he's not.
Might churn my stomach.
He's not going to be. It'll be quick. Worst case scenario, you take that shot, you throw it back up,
and then you're done.
And you go about your day.
I'm sorry, guys. Tried to tell y'all last night. Both my kids were sick. I'd rather be in the show.
I wish we could. We just need to run this text thread through the
the time they came in.
Credits. This timestamp at the bottom of the show. I think that's a great idea. And just hear all the excuses. Somehow two of the four accidentally set their alarm to PM last night.
And Jay sent us picture evidence like he couldn't go in there and edit that and make it. He sent us a picture of where he had his clock set for
What
PM.
I love is Law has not responded all morning. And then as soon as Jay came up with that excuse, he's like, oh, yeah, that's what I did too. Yeah, man, I wanted to be there, guys.
And then Jay was like, yeah, and I just happened to wake up. Like, me too, man. I'm glad I just happened to wake up. These guys.
Piggybacking.
All right, so would you rather, these will be tough right here, okay? Get tackled full speed. You got no pads on. You just stand there. Full speed by prime Jadeveon Clowney, okay? Mm-hmm. Or take a free kick to the face from Ronaldo.
How far away? Like to my face or to a ball, then to my face?
No, you're standing there. He's standing right over there, and he kicks it, and it's hitting you flush in the face, nose and all. So tears are coming regardless because when you know how it is when you get hit in the nose.
So I'm going to take prime
Clowney.
Prime Clowney.
Michigan hit, helmet off.
So here's my thoughts behind that. I've been just surprise hit, like blindside hit before.
With pads on.
But I don't think it matters. So, it matters. But so here's the thing.
Yeah, those are just pads. Those protection.
Those hits weren't the ones that got me. The hits where you just run up against a brick wall and stalemate one another, those are the ones that really hurt. The ones where
I love how you say this, like you would anywhere got to run. In the offensive and defensive line, you're not getting a running start.
I played many positions. I played linebacker. I played tight end. I played fullback. I was a collision
quarterback,
guy.
Kicker.
No, they did not let me do that. But not like in game situations, but in a lot of scout team situations, I was there all the time. I had an identity problem in high school. I felt like I was
a female,
a ball handler.
Oh, I didn't know where you're going with that.
I felt like I was like a skill guy. My coach disagreed with that and asked me to unselfishly fill a position on the offensive line. I was like, Coach, I was made to have the ball in my hand. He said, I agree, go play center. And
touch it every play.
I touched it every play, and I was good at it, but I did not live for it. I didn't love it. So I lived for those defensive days when I got to jump in on scout team and run a little fullback or something like that, live my dreams. But so I think those hits where you just no opposition really, you're just laid out, those don't hurt as bad.
Okay.
Yeah. But a soccer ball right to the face,
nose probably broken from him.
That's rough. And besides fitness being my passion, my face is the reason I'm on the show. Yeah. Obviously, and
not a blow dried look today though. This is a bit more natural this morning.
I'm well known for being unselfish, and my wife was sleeping this morning. She was supposed to get up to go to the gym this morning. Didn't make it. Also, is catching, and it's because I'm setting the tone as the man of our house.
Yeah.
So I did not do the blow dryer this morning. So I'm just out here in the world, hair flopping around.
Disheveled.
It's not great. I tried to wear a hat.
That's probably. Does that affect your day today? You think? Does it lead to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little less confident than I should be. I'm at like 80% right now, but I'm battling. Still here, which is
no gym, no blow dried hair, and you're here. Wow, what a guy.
It can be done because I set my alarm for AM.
Double checked it.
I didn't. I don't. You don't even have to really. Like, it's not complicated. You should have one set from the week before. That you
he
just
had it
click
right.
on.
You didn't see in the every Tuesday. 5 p.m. every Tuesday. 5:15, something like that. Every
Time
Tuesday.
to take something out of the oven.
I'm one of those. I'm gonna have, like, for instance, on days like this where it's 4. I have an alarm for 4, 4:15, and 4:30, just in case I get. And on my regular days, it's 5, 5:15, 5:30. Like, I have to. Normally, the first one works about every time, but I just have a fear that I'm gonna somehow, because you've been there before where you snooze or you wake up and you're like, dang, I don't remember doing that. You ain't ever been there?
No, I don't do that.
This guy, Mr. Professional over here.
I mean, it's not. I don't know why y'all are making an alarm seem so difficult to operate. I mean,
it's not. I mean, am I here?
Get up.
Am I here?
Grown up.
Am I here? That's the thing that gets me with Jay.
But I will say, that you have some weaknesses.
So I plan.
And you overcome it. There's a lot of people that are like that. It's just excuse making. I don't.
All right. Well, let's dive in right quick. We got some bowl games. So the way we're going to do the bowl picks over the season over the bowl season is the games that'll go from. Since we're recording on Tuesday, but our show will come out on Wednesday, so we'll pick games through Wednesday of each week. So got a handful that'll be played before next week's show. So start with, we got a local one. We got Georgia Southern, and we'll just list them all. So I know you don't have very much. You don't have many one-liners, do you? Is there certain ones that you feel like you got something good to land?
None of them are good. No.
So we'll just briefly kind of talk about the few games. But you got Georgia Southern plus 1.5 versus Ohio. Now, what's crazy, and answer me as you may know this, in our bowl pick'em, I'm assuming those spreads are locked in for when we started it.
Yeah,
because they're different now on ESPN.
I'd say they're locked in.
So that's what I'm going. I'm going with the bowl pick'em sheet. So
listen, since it's just me and you in there, we can make the rules whatever we want.
Change however we want. But Southern plus 1.5 versus Ohio.
All right, so Georgia Southern was 7 of the best years of my life. So it's hard to pick against them. But
with that being said,
so they're kind of much like Adam when we spend the night away from our house growing up. That'll do away from home. Do well away from home.
Get that one out. Yeah.
Can we roll it back? Can I start back? Let's take it from the top. They don't do well away from home, but they're 1-5 in away games, and Ohio has 5th ranked defense in the country. So I 100% think Ohio is going to win, but I'm picking GSU.
Really, I had already put in.
I'm a homer.
I'm not. A matter of fact, I've gotten, really because of people I hang out with, I have a few friends that are diehard Georgia Southern, which somehow makes them anti-Georgia, which I've never understood. Like, why you can't, especially when Georgia Southern was.
We don't really compete.
When Georgia Southern was not in the same division, why not root for both, kind of? And so because of that, I don't really have much for Georgia Southern. So I'm going with Ohio.
I'm a big Georgia Southern guy. I go back a couple times a year. Hang out in the old stomping grounds.
Not me.
Have you ever had the ranch dressing at Dingus McGee's?
That was kind of more of a frat hangout when I was in school, and that wasn't my.
But now it's a frat / employer coming back looking for interns hangout, apparently.
Okay.
So,
there you are.
Big Dingus McGee.
Networking place.
Big Dingus McGee guy.
All right, Jack State plus 1.5 versus Louisiana.
So I don't know how you bet against the Raging Cajuns in the New Orleans Bowl, but I actually did a deep dive on the roster here, and I see it going. Raging Cajuns go down big at halftime, but then Bobby Boucher shows up, and they end up winning the Bourbon Bowl. So
I like what you did there.
Yeah,
a lot of deep diving. So you got Louisiana.
Yep, Louisiana.
Good. I'm going Jack State. We're just going to pick everybody opposite each other.
That normally works out well for me.
App State minus 4.5 versus Miami of Ohio.
So Chuck Martin, who's the coach of Miami, was a finalist for the coach of the year this year, and the game's in Florida. So I'll take Miami of Ohio. Nothing better than laughing at your own jokes on it.
He caught me. I was like, hold on.
Is he serious? I don't know.
So you are going with Miami of Ohio?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take App State. I already had those, by the way. New Mexico State -2.5 versus Fresno State.
So again, this is a home game from New Mexico. Pretty much it's the Albuquerque Bowl. And Fresno State's had some really good luck with turnovers, but I see it running out and New Mexico wins a home game.
All right, we're on the same page there. New Mexico State it is. All right. A few more. UCLA -2.5 versus Boise State.
So the most interesting fact about this game is that Gronk is singing the national anthem. So tune in for that.
That is very
It's going to be a disaster.
Why is that?
I don't know. Why is it going to be a disaster? Because I don't think he can sing very well. But I don't know why he would be invited to.
This is going to be a dumb question. Did he play at Fresno? Where did he play?
He played at Arizona.
That's right. Okay, so
Wildcat.
So I'm not sure. No tie to that game. Just
so UCLA's best player is holding out for the draft. It's a pass rusher, edge rusher, and their starting quarterback is already in the portal. I love Chip Kelly, and I hate a blue field, but I'm going with Boise State.
I'm Boise as well.
A lot of these, you just have to look and see whose best players are playing or not.
Yeah, something I didn't do. So
yeah.
I'm glad you got an insight. Texas Tech, Cal. Texas Tech -2.5.
So Texas Tech has the fourth leading rusher in the nation, Taj Brooks. He's coming back next year, and for that reason, I've got Texas Tech winning.
I've got Texas Tech as well. All right, real quick, we're at Old Dominion +3.5 versus Western Kentucky.
So Old Dominion has a linebacker, number 42, Jason Henderson. He's an absolute beast. He's an All-American, and that is all I know about either team, so I'm picking them.
I'm going with, Donut plays for, Jaquez Evans plays for Western Kentucky, a Dublin graduate. So because of that and that reason only, I'm going Western Kentucky.
Well, that's all but one game, so we got to pick the last game.
UTSA -8.5 versus Marshall.
So you would never think this. Marshall is one of 12 teams to successfully make it to a bowl game in each of the last 7 seasons.
We are Marshall.
Yeah. So let's listen to this list. Notre Dame, Oregon, Wisconsin, Oregon State, Alabama, UCF, Oklahoma, UGA, Clemson, Kentucky, Ohio State, and Marshall.
That's wild.
That is crazy. So I've got Matthew McConaughey's a great coach, and the NCAA gave them a special waiver to play freshmen this year. So I've got Marshall.
You're an idiot. Oh, man.
If you're not a movie watcher, these do not hit.
No, I'll land it on that one. All right, man. Hey, well, it wasn't as bad as it probably could have been.
It was definitely way better than when you and Adam were here.
I agree, but that was our first time doing it as well. First time with two.
Yeah, but I don't really see how that plays into it.
It does. It just somewhere does.
I don't think it does.
Okay. Well, maybe everybody will be back next week. Again, make sure you're subscribed. Opie, you got to take. I bet you. Can you bring us home?
Yeah. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Give us a subscription and a like and all that stuff. Let's create a new platform, put it on there. We are hungry for whatever you will give us. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Real.
Make sure you visit our website, www.thebiguglysportsshow.com. Email us if you have any questions, biguglysports@gmail.com. Appreciate you tuning in this week. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you're listening. Again, we are brought to you by Premier Properties of Dublin, and the whole gang will be back next week. It'll be Christmas break next week for the teachers, so they'll all be back.
I'll guarantee you they'll all be here for that. For sure.
Oh, yeah. Ready.
About 11 a.m.
Yep. Wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, get on that bus.
Yeah, I'm back now. Yeah, they call me Big Roger. Yeah, but sometimes in they cut, they call me Bevo Lottie. We stay with the facts that you know we gon' discuss. Fussing or fighting, yeah, we get up on that bus. Yeah.